Here I have some chains worked up. The first thing that I want to point out is that there is a front side of the loop and a back side. Whenever you enlarge the loop or make it smaller, the front side is the side that moves first, and the back side stays pretty relatively the same. So if you make the loop large to take your hook out and use it on a different project, then you put it back in, you want to make sure that you put it back in with the front part of the loop toward you and the back part away from you. You don't want to accidentally get your loop twisted this way. That will come in handy later. So like I said, I have a few chains here, and the second tip that I have is whenever you start working back through your chains, you'll want to tighten the last chain down here to really small by pulling the back part of the loop that your hook is in until it gets really small. And then you want to bring the loop that's on your hook to about the height of a single crochet, and you can start working your way back through your chain. And this is how you can make a single crochet at the start of the second row. And then, in order to make this stacked single crochet, what you'll want to do is insert your hook into the left leg of the stitch. I'll try to do this slowly. I usually use my fingernail to pull it over the hook. And since I'm using weight 4 yarn, that means that I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 threads to pull over the hook. Yarn over and pull through that leg. And then make sure that both loops that are on your hook are the height of a single crochet. You don't want them to be really disproportioned. You want them to be pretty even. And then yarn over and pull through. And now you have a stitch that is the height of a double crochet. 1, 2. You can do this again and make a treble in US terms. This is, I forget what the UK terms are, I'm sorry. Or you can add a chain on to make a half double crochet. So a single chain is how I usually make a stacking stitch to be a half. So let's continue from double crochet and go straight into doing double crochets like normal. I'll just speed through this real quick so that I can show you how to turn your work. Okay, last stitch on the row. So this is only something that you'll have to do if you are working back and forth in rows. If you're working in the round, you don't have to do this. Okay, but whenever you're working back and forth, you want to make sure that this loop is pretty tight. Not super small, but just make sure that it's symmetrical with the ones before it. And then you'll want to make this loop quite large, and I like to put my index finger in here so that I don't get it twisted, and then turn it over and insert your hook this way. Then you'll want to reduce the size of the loop to the size of a single crochet. Now you'll want to insert through the previous double crochet, yarn over, and pull through, yarn over, and pull through both. And now again you'll want to insert into the left leg, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through two, and then you can double crochet as you were. And as you can see, this makes a very straight edge. And if you go back through to do a border, you'll notice that you can insert the hook into the stitch instead of completely around the stitch, because the stitch is substantial enough. So you don't want to do this, because this will make a gap where the border pulls away, and that doesn't look quite as nice. Instead, what you want to do is pierce 2 threads of the stitch, and then continue working around the border this way. And that will allow you to have more substance at the bottom of the stitch that doesn't quite make quite as large of a gap. So you'll have straighter edges with this method. You'll have more substantial edges for adding a border onto, and it helps you keep your stitches in line with each other, so it's harder to accidentally mix up the beginning of the row and drop or add stitches, which is a common issue, especially for beginners, losing stitches. So you can see that this is very substantial and hard to miss whenever you're counting. Now, the top of this stitch is exactly the same as a normal double crochet. There are 2 and 2 here. And that way you can also do a front or back loop without having to miss a row, or a column, because it's more suited for that type of stitch. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.